it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, it's not my usual bookish, wrap-up-ish. I thought I would just at least, before I get into the best of, the worst of, the wrap-up of the wrap-ups, how did goals go, plans, etc. I thought I would try to kind of like at least have some spirit of Christmas in here. As a Filipino, I feel like it's my moral duty. I'm wearing a big sweater. I have a little, the necklace that I tip, it looks like a snowflake. So we're going to talk about some of my favorite Christmas movies. None of them are too biblical. There's like one in here that is like very leading into the biblical side, but it's like it was just cute, so I had to include it. But these are the movies that I grew up with, that I still watch regularly, that are like family traditions for my family and I. Like movies that I loved seeing, and like one of them I just saw again for the first time in probably over a decade. So let's just walk down memory lane, and maybe you guys will remember some of these movies. Maybe it'll unlock a memory for you. Maybe you watch them like the same way I do. So let's just jump into it. So I did have a kind of a span of movies that I wanted to do. Some of them are rom-coms, some of them are like traditional Christmas movies, some of them are animation, some of them are like stop motion. So we got some here. I didn't include any horror movies, but if you guys would want a list of like Christmas horror movies, I'd be more than happy to provide them for you. I just gotta like bring up my like list of movies, because I've only seen I think 3 or 4 horror Christmas movies, and I would like to see more. So, starting off strong with the usual culprit, and that is Santa Claus 1 and 2. This is a Tim Allen, and I know Tim Allen's super conservative, but this movie, like, I see it, I hear Rockin' Around the Run Run Rudolph in the diner, and it just brings me back so much. But this follows Tim Allen's character, I forget his name, Scott Calvin, who is a toy maker. He is just very focused on his job and not at all very focused on his family. That is, one day on Christmas, in the first one, his son wakes him up and it goes, "Santa's on the roof, I can hear him." And he's like, "No, he's not." They go outside and Santa falls off the roof, and Scott puts on Santa's jacket, his jacket, the Santa Claus jacket, and takes on the persona Santa Claus. And the entire like fun things that come with that part. Second movie is probably one of my favorites. It follows him a couple years into the making of Santa Claus. He is now struggling as he now has to find Mrs. Claus, and that's the whole point of why Santa Claus 2 has an E, because there's the Santa Claus in the Santa card situation. I was not the biggest fan of Santa Claus 3. I think it definitely tried to go too big in terms of like the plot and like everything in between. I just like kind of the homeliness of the original 2 Santa Claus movies. But it's one of my favorites. I can't not go through a single like Christmas season without having seen at least these 2 movies. And it's something that I like watching during like probably like when I'm prepping for Christmas with my family on Christmas Eve. We just have like a movie marathon of our favorite movies. And these are 2 of them. I remember seeing the second and the third one in the theaters, not so much the first one. I think I missed that in the Philippines somewhere. I don't even remember. But yes, one of my favorites, will always be a staple. I love it. I haven't seen the like Santa Clauses, like the series, but I don't think I'm very interested in that one per se. I don't know if it follows any of the regular cast. I don't know if it follows like the grandkids or what's going on. Or I guess he did have twins at the end of the second movie. Right? He had twins? Second or third? I think it was the third movie he had twins. But I guess it follows them, but I can't like not follow his like eldest son who wanted to take over. Moving on to a family favorite. Like my mom loves this movie. We watch it literally every year. And that is Christmas with the Cranks. Again, another Tim Allen, and I think, what's her name? With Jamie Lee Curtis. It follows a couple whose daughter decides to kind of like go do, I think, Doctors Without Borders or something like that. For 1 year after college. So they say that she's not going to make it home for Christmas, so they decided to go on a cruise instead, which somehow magically brings up all of the ire from the neighborhood who is expecting their Christmas party, their decorations, everything in between. So it brings up all this like wacky scenarios, and it's just really funny. And my mom loves the ham scene. The ham scene is probably one of her favorite scenes of all time. I think she finds it so hilarious, and it's pretty funny, and yeah. But it's a family favorite. I can't not include it in here. I think my mom will see this video and be like, what about Christmas with the Cranks? We always see Christmas with the Cranks. What do you mean it's not your favorite? Then I'd have a lot of explaining to do. Alright, I think the next good chunk of these are animated / stop motion. The next one is The Year Without Santa Claus. This is a stop motion from, like, I don't even know how old it is. I just remember seeing it a lot, and it was my favorite. It has like the very, like, I think the Heatmeister and the Snow Miser song that's like very well loved out, that circulates a lot during the Christmas time. It basically just follows the one year where Santa gets so sick he can't be Santa, and it's the one year with no Christmas, and you have the elves trying to figure out what to do to provide Christmas. And it has I think it plays Elvis's song Blue Christmas with a really sad backdrop, and there's a reindeer missing. It's one of my favorites. It's like, I don't know why, but I can just picture the movie so clearly in my head, and it just works out, and it's just a good movie. The next one is the 1970s Santa is Coming to Town. This is like Santa Claus's origin, it's another stop motion movie. It follows the origins of Santa Claus in this town as he is a small boy. And he grows up to become Santa Claus, and we get to see him go against the rules of the town to deliver presents, and him finding his workshop, his elves, his reindeer, his wife, and I think Father Time's involved in this. It's just a very fun movie, and I love seeing it just because I think it kind of takes away some of the mysticism with Santa when you're younger. It's like he was a real person, and I mean, Saint Nicholas was a real person too, so I think they kind of loosely incorporated his story in there as well. It's all good and fun. This one is Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. It's such a good movie. It's a Cartoon Network original. It's basically following the story of the song, which is a young boy who overly believes in Santa, and his grandma really supports this idea. One year for Christmas, she's like on the way delivering fruitcakes to people, her famous fruitcakes, and then ends up getting hit by a reindeer, and like only the little boy and the grandpa know the truth, and it's like an entire fiasco. And it's so much fun, and it's so cute and so funny, and I love the song Grandma's Gonna Sue the Pants Off of Santa. It was just so good. It's like a song that gets stuck in my head very easily and very quickly, even when it's like, if I think about the movie, I think about the song, and then the song is stuck in my head. Doesn't matter what kind of season it is. Could be the middle of summer, and I'll be like, Grandma's gonna sue the pants off of Santa. This one is the one that is biblical. This is Nestor the Long-Eared Donkey. It's very similar to like kind of the Dumbo situation, where like he's like a long-eared donkey, he trips over everything, he's very much ostracized. His mom loves him very, very much. And it just follows his like little journey. And spoiler but not spoiler, I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this because, you know, not everyone is Catholic like I am. But it follows Nestor eventually growing up and becoming the donkey that Mary rode on like when she gives birth to Jesus, and he uses, it's just a very sweet scene that I remember so vividly, since it was like stormy, and like sand was blowing everywhere, and Mary was cold, and Nestor uses his long ears to wrap around her to keep her and baby Jesus warm. It's just like a very vivid like memory that like I always think about, and I always think it's a fever dream at first, and then I googled the movie, and I'm like, no, it's real. It's a very sweet scene. I love Nestor the donkey. Next we have the Powerpuff Girls Christmas. I just saw this for the first time in like a decade, but this follows the famous trio of Powerpuff Girls, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, as they have to struggle with one of their mortal enemies who is trying to ruin Christmas for everyone. It's 44 minutes, which I swear to goodness when I was younger this was a lot longer than 44 minutes, but it is. And I watched it again for the first time, like I said, in a decade, and it just brought back so many memories of like wanting to be the Powerpuff Girls and like wanting to have that adventure, and it was just... Next and last of the animation and the stop motion, we have Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. This is another like family staple in my family. My mom showed it to us one year, and now we cannot go a Christmas without watching it. It follows, I think, 3 or 4 stories in the Mickey's world, and it's just my favorite out of all of, I think, the 3 or 2 Mickey's Once Upon or Twice Upon or Thrice Upon a Christmas. Definitely my favorite. I just love the story about family and like loving each other, and just like the real message behind Christmas. I think a lot of the times, especially like nowadays with consumerism being so like the focus of everything, we forget like why we're doing Christmas and like why we do the gift giving and why we do the thing. Like we might not have a lot of money all the time for the gift giving, but it's not the expanse of the gift, but like the fact that you have thought about someone and love someone enough to provide them with a gift. I could get on a tangent with this because like when you grow up poor, I guess, I don't know. But one of my favorites, I love these stories. My favorite one will always be I think the very first one with Mickey and Minnie. It's just so sweet and it's just so cute and I can't like not watch it. I think this Twice Upon the Christmas is when they like went with like the 3D aspect, and like Max, the one story I remember from that one is when Max brings home his girlfriend to meet Goofy. That one was fun, but this one is top tier and will always be top tier. I have 3 more left and 3 of them are kind of romance movies. Seeing or have been part of my like YouTube like family for a hot minute, you know, my dad loves, he loves his Hallmark Christmas movies, but I don't watch those with him. But he has like 2 specific movies from Netflix that he will not watch. Like he will like watch it and he'll make us watch all the subsequent movies. The first one is Princess Switch, and this is where we watch all the subsequent movies. This follows Vanessa Hudgens playing 2 characters. One is a cute little baker, and the other one is a princess of like a forgotten land. And the baker goes on this exchange to like compete in a baking competition to kind of get over her rut of her ex-boyfriend. And the princess finds them and they're like, we look alike. And then you find out there's like a whole family tree switch situation here. And they decide for the next few days before, you know, they have to like settle into like their roles back again, they switch. So the baker becomes a princess, the princess becomes a baker, and there's a whole romance thing. My dad loves these movies. Loves these movies. Like, he will not, ever since these movies came out and ever since they kept coming out, like the series, the 3 of them, I think, he has not stopped watching them. Like you could see there's a little chill in the air and he'll play these movies. It's one of those movies that we marathon on Christmas Eve when we're prepping and like prepping for Christmas with all the cookies and the food and everything. This has to be on for him. He doesn't even do anything. He just stands there and like watches us while we're baking or cooking. But this has to be on for him to feel the Christmas spirit. And we watch all 3 movies back to back. It's like Frozen with him. Dad loves Frozen. Dad loves Frozen. He loves Frozen 2 specifically because he likes that one a lot more, but he likes Frozen. In fact, he liked Frozen so much that when he met my boyfriend for the first time, he called him Kristoff. He said, yeah, he walks kind of like Kristoff and he looks kind of like Kristoff. And now Jake has grown his hair out and it's only solidified the fact that he looks like Kristoff to my father. Moving on to father's other favorites. The other one, which he's like, this man is like holding on to hope that there's going to be a sequel, and that is A Night Before Christmas. This follows, again, Vanessa Hudgens, because apparently she's becoming the queen of Netflix Christmas movies. But this follows Vanessa Hudgens' character as she is like trying to get over a breakup. She's a teacher. She's dealing with her family's death and just trying to feel the spirit of Christmas. The other one, I believe Sir Cole is his name, is a literal knight from medieval times, and this witch sends him on his quest to become a knight and shoves him forward into time to meet with Vanessa Hudgens' character, and they like fall in love, and it's a cute thing. Dad is still waiting for a sequel. He sees the ending and he goes, there has to be a sequel. This left me open for a sequel. The brother's gonna come, he's gonna fall in love with someone, there has to be. This man's like praying. So Netflix, if you happen upon this situation, please make a sequel. If I have to hear that he wants a sequel for the next like 15 years of my life, I don't think I will be alive for the sequel. If you're catching the drift that I'm throwing down. And finally, the last one is another romance movie that actually like I didn't see until pretty recently, but it's like a staple now because Jude Law. But that is The Holiday. It has a jam-packed cast of characters. We got Jack Black, we got Cameron Diaz, we got young Jude Law, and we got Kate Winslet. This is like my favorite genre of movies that came out around like the late 2000s/early 2010s, where there's like a gaggle of characters and you don't think their stories are interconnected at all, and then you find out that they are. Like, I love New Year's, I love Valentine's Day, I love Crazy Stupid Love. Crazy Stupid Love is one of my favorite movies of all time. And The Holiday. Basically, these two women, Cameron Diaz's and Kate Winslet's character, are very much down on their luck. Cameron Diaz's boyfriend cheated on her. Kate Winslet's character has been like in love with this man forever, and he's taken advantage of that until he announces he's engaged. So the two girls sign up for a program where it switches them, and they can like live in someone else's house for like a couple months. So this is how they're gonna live. They're gonna switch and spend the holiday at each other's house. So Cameron Diaz goes to England, Kate Winslet goes to America, and they like meet Jack Black and Jude Law respectively, and fall in love and like learn life lessons along the way and all the things. This was such a good movie. I don't know how I've never seen this movie until my adulthood, but it is so good. I loved the different storylines that were going on. I loved seeing the characters like fall in love and like the slow burns of some of them. It was just so good. And like it was just really good. Like this will be another holiday like Christmas staple that I will have to watch over and over again. It's just so good. It's just so good. I just can't like not watch it. It's on Hulu, so I'm probably gonna go watch it soon. But that is it for some of my favorite Christmas movies. I don't say this is a definitive list because I love Christmas movies. I love the cheesiness. I love the the dramatics of it all, the comedy. Like I feel like a Christmas movie is not good without a comedy aspect to it. It's just great. I love it. But that is, like I said, that's it for that list. If you guys want me to like do a more in-depth list, let me know, and I'll like include other movies. If you want me to do like I said, like a horror Christmas thriller situation, I can also provide that for you guys. Probably next year, because I'd have to like really watch more horror Christmas movies, which is the genre that I love. But if you guys like these movies, if these have unlocked a memory in you and you want to watch them and you're going to watch them, let me know in the comments down below. But until next time, hit like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video, which will be the beginning of the end of the year content. So take care, and hope you guys have a good week and a good weekend. Bye.